Everyone, my name is Sandra Sneed Dawkins. It's so wonderful to have everyone here tonight. Lots of new faces. I think she brought them with her, and we're glad you're here. um, um, really live streaming, as Aziz said, and tonight, obviously, this is Grace, who's going to be our speaker tonight. I'm so glad to see you again. I haven't seen you in a long time. It's been a long time, and I'm excited to hear your talk. Um, we have a few announcements, very few. If you have not signed up for Craftopia, I'm personally coming to your house and I'm personally going to have you push the button so I can know if you're coming in December so I can feed you. Because I don't know that if you don't do that. And you'll have the opportunity to make a card and take it with you and have some fun. So, and bring something delicious because I'm not cooking for everyone. Anyway, so that's that. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is the logo contest ends December the 3rd. So we did put up a chance for you to submit that. So if you have a logo that you would like to submit for Visual Artists of Topeka, we'd be glad to see that. And then the smallest thing is the art cart is a little bit on hold for right now. It's a busy time for all of us. So we won't be doing that until probably next year sometime. So, but we're still working on that. And lastly, but definitely not least, we're going to ask Grace to speak. And then after that, the artists that are here, if we want to share something, we'll be able to share something. But what's it, further ado? Is that how you say it? Anyway, without further ado, Grace Lindman.
Thank you. I wish my students gave me a round of applause when I walked in. Well, hi, my name is Grace, and formerly I was a student for about 7 years in art school. And then, let's see, I graduated in May of 2022, became a teacher. It's been crazy, but it has been one of the best experiences of my life. And I guess I didn't really know what to present today. I'm going to be honest, because since I graduated, I really haven't done a lot of my own personal work. But as I was going through pictures of my college experience and just my new school experience at Washburn Tech, I've been living vicariously through all of my students' creativity. And I just think that that's kind of it's one of the cooler art projects I've been able to work on, mentoring students in a very direct way. So I am going to rewind a little bit and talk about my my BFA experience. So. I'm gonna keep walking away from this thing. Can you guys hear me like this? Can I talk like this? This is my teacher voice. Okay, so throughout my BFA experience, I really focused, well, at the time I focused on breaking stigmas of mental health and breaking stigmas of a negative body image. And I'll kind of elaborate more on that. But these were things that I was dealing with hardcore when I got to college. And has anyone experienced imposter syndrome before? I had imposter syndrome just in society. So I took college as this chance to heal, rebuild, and reestablish myself. This is one of my first works right here, Stranger's Bog. What is it? It's in a box over there. So I didn't come from a traditional background. In fact, when I went to college, my professors told me, you're interested in crafts, like crochet and beading and, this or that. And I was a little confused because I was like, but I thought that was art. And it is art subjective, but I was going for a fine art degree. So it was my goal to figure out how am I going to get fine art and my love for beads and crochet and all of that worked in. And it started with strands of thought. At the time, I was a hospice caregiver, and I worked the night shift. And when you're working night shift, you have a lot of time to think, right? So I channeled a lot of those thoughts that I was having into these long crochet ropes. And as I collected more and more of them, I realized this. I was just weaving them together, and I was like, these are my thoughts in my head when I'm anxious. So it started with defining my fears. Moving forward, about halfway through my BFA, I had a glass internship. I worked in very glass studio downtown. Curious, anyone been there? What's up, Scott? So through this internship, I got hands-on experience with glass fusion and I got to experience glass fusion, and this was a really interesting medium for me because traditionally I'm 3D. I want hands-on projects. But glass fusion was more of like 2D and 3D combined. So it was really a challenge to learn. But this was one of the test pieces that I made, and actually this piece is up for a raffle today. So this one is called mindfulness, and something I learned really early on, or something I tried to learn in my teenage years, is mindfulness, and that is not seeing the black and white of the situation, looking for those gray areas, or in this case, so a lot of my work also dealt with healing my fears. And last but not least, I've come to a time in my life where I finally feel like I can let go of those fears that I defined, that I healed. So this last piece on the end is actually a video. I don't have a link to this on TikTok. It's a collage book that I made, closing a door to the chapter in my life. So this is where I started defining what comes from those fears. I was really interested in the emotion that people don't show. You know, we all see smiles on other social media, but when I was dealing with my own pain, I actually wondered, what does this look like? And I went through a period where I actually took pictures of myself raw, crying, because I wanted to know what that emotion looked like, and on me. So Little Miss Sunshine, I wait to read the PowerPoint. Little Miss Sunshine, pain is beauty. Many of us go day to day with a brave face, keeping emotions out of sight. I wanted to capture the feelings that go unseen. This is not to glorify pain, but rather a reminder that even Little Miss Sunshine has cloudy days too. Stay tuned, friends. I think this is what I took, or this was one of my final projects for my second art class at the art department. And this is where I really started to identify with emotion. So back to strands of thought. This is the close-up. But as you can see, it's those ropes are just woven in. Would you excuse me? To my students in the audience, how often do I do this during announcements? Go to my office and get my clipboard. Every day. So, this project in particular was my first attempt at visualizing my toxic friends' anxiety. You know, I think that one of the emotions that a lot of people feel comfortable expressing is sadness. But there are so many more emotions that fit into that, and at the time, anxiety was just moving in my world. And with anxiety also came body image. Over a period of 10 years, I gained 150 pounds, lost 150 pounds, and had skin removal surgery to reconstruct. But if you think about it, 10 years is not a lot of time to experience all of that change, especially for a young person. So towards the latter years of my BFA, I focused on body image and I just wanted to know how I could keep it. It all started with this marshmallow suit. I was so excited to make this because it was in a class where the professor let me crochet. He said, okay, you can crochet, but you have to make a plan, you have to make it, like I have to follow certain guidelines. So this was my way of negotiating craft with fine art. And it also opened the doors for my exploration in body dysmorphia. So this was my first bodysuit. At first, it was actually made to represent the loose skin that I had after losing weight, but it really doesn't visually represent that. So this would be more of a teenage body prior to gaining that weight, because we all have stretch marks when we grow. And I don't know, I just rewind back up. Something really valuable I learned during this project was in the heat group. I had a critique with all of the art staff, and everyone was giving me a lot of really good feedback. There was one person who said, well, this is a very beautiful art piece. Why are you making why are you representing an ugly subject? And, I can't remember what I said in the moment, but I shut it down, and it felt so good. It felt so good to break the stigma that skin is ugly. We all have skin. We live in our skin. And our skin is beautiful. And body dysmorphia number 2. Oh my goodness. If you're careful, please come up here at some point and just give her a little lift. Beads. I finally got to make one of the beads. Went in a little over my head though, because I didn't realize how many beads could fit on a mannequin. So as I was creating this one, I love tedious tasks. It's so silly. But I found so much healing in just sitting there for hours and either listening to a podcast or even listening to my own mind go. By making all of these strands, I was making peace with myself. This was me when I accepted my first teaching position. Very ambitious. I'm feeling good. Yeah, feeling good. Next. But then this was the reality. The last was the expectation, and then this was the reality. Going into art, or going into teaching art, my professors always told me that they never made work because they were always at school. And I was like, no, that's not for me. Unfortunately, because it is the case. You have to choose priorities, and my kids have been my priority. I had to put my artwork to the side. Before I get into my newfound niche. I do want to share a little bit of what this school year is about. So this was me when I was a student at Washburn Tech. I was in the same program that I'm teaching now. This was back in 2016. The one on the end, that is me on my first day of school. Gosh. But it was incredible this was my first full circle. I'd been a student in the program, I'd gone off and I'd done my own thing and established myself, and then the instructor that I had was hired. Throughout all of my experience, it's who you know. It is kind of what you know, but it's truly who you know. It's been so fun to watch my own students graduate and find jobs. And I feel weird saying this because I don't want to, like, I kind of found those positions or those people to sign into. And I guess I just feel like it's kind of giving back from all of the things that my mentors did for me in my experience. These are some fun pictures. We have a lot of fun. Let's see here. So these are some T-shirts that we designed for Turkey Bowl last year. There's some of these people out in the crowd right now. We had an open house, and my students created a display with all of the works that we made in this class. Oh, and then this is an honorable mention. A student went on a field trip with the art department and sent me that picture and said, "Photoshop something in the mirror." Well, can you guys see it? It's pretty small. Can you see this? It's the mirror face from Shrek. And if it's okay, I'm gonna take a pause. And you guys have a sip of water since I've been up here. Through living vicariously through my own students' creativity, I've also learned a lot. In fact, I'm confident that I have learned more from my students than they have learned. And that is both in design, just how to do graphic design, what is good design, but also I think I'm drawing a big blank. It is seriously. I owe so much of who I am today to them. If it's okay, maybe I can circle back. We can circle back to this. One topic that I've been really interested in is perception. Because everyone has a different perception. It is based on our experience, how we have been formed over time. With perception, oh my goodness, I'm taking back that set. That was a bit fun. Because I've been able to work with my students, one of the things I have learned from them is design and how to make the design. In my period of not really making my own artwork, I've really struggled to figure out what do I want to make, what medium do I want to use, what concept am I going after. And I was really like, I really couldn't do it. even picking up my own projects that I hadn't finished from my period. It didn't feel right. And then one summer, I got an email from OpenAI asking to be part of their trial team for Dolly 2. And let me tell you, Dolly was so much fun. It's still fun as Dolly 3, but I remember I actually was sitting right next to my dad, and we were trying to come up with the silliest prompts to try to generate this generative AI. I know that one was put the pants on the chicken, so we got a chicken with some pants. That's obviously not what it's true. But one thing that I did try is I put in what would visualize a human or okay, I'm drawing a blank on there's a prompt that I searched, but it was what would a graphic designer look like, but in their graphic design, in their style of graphic design. And I just kept generating and generating, and these are just some of what it came up with. It's crazy because a lot of the images that with this prompt that I generated, students. But this is the very fun, artistic, like this is the inspiration that I was reading for. Dolly is very good at bringing concepts to life, but I don't allow myself that, right? I do want to apologize. I usually come to students.
We are all friends. You got this.
So I love AI for the opportunity to help me image this in my head at my scale. I can't, manipulate images myself into exactly what's in my head. Dolly takes a lot of that time and effort out. I do not allow my students to use AI in class due to rights limitations. Also, there needs to be protections in place for students using, for my students using that. There needs to be protections in place for my students use AI in class. And a lot of that comes from, I want them to be able to critically think, to be able to generate those prompts in an effective way. So that they're not just relying on AI to make an effective for them or with this idea. The idea that something I've been toying with recently is these are unedited, by the way. I've been trying to make visual metaphors, and these are two that I've made based on my experiences in teaching this art. And I didn't edit them because also AI it's good what it does, but it's not great. It's not excellent. It spells things wrong, you can spell the right thing. But both of these captivated me out of, I don't know, maybe 10 variations or 10 generations I made. These just spoke to me. Dolly, so I guess one of those limitations to why I don't want my students necessarily using it in class yet is because of the false information. It's very hard to detect that. unless you're looking out for it. Oh, I forgot my dog tails. Oh, I have a folder of just dog tails. I'll move on to this one. But this artwork is actually the one that I'm currently working on. This is the color version. But I probably spent 2 evenings in Dolly 2 before the test was taken offline. And they had this feature where you could take an image and then take another portion and generate off of that, and then generate off of that, and you could make this huge composition instead of square. And this was the result. This did not look anything like this either. I had to go through my process for AI is I type in my initial prompt, and then based on what images it gives me, I have to figure out, okay, do I need to go narrower, do I need to be more specific, or do I need to expand? So what I did was just a game of expanding, narrowing, because I kind of thought that I'd have to Frankenstein my own image together. But then all of a sudden, it was just this girl. It was just the girl, and there was something about her that just really, like, I just identified with her. The landscape that she's walking on, broken. But then all of a sudden, what is that color right there? How did that get there? To me, I was like, it kind of looks like a purple. And when I took it, I actually put it in Photoshop and I expanded it up. And that there's almost like a picture inside. I guess when I look at this image that Dolly and I created, I find a lot of symbolism and meaning in what Dolly gave me. And I guess embracing new tools are scary. But this is a tool that I'm very excited to see. Very excited to see what it does positive in our society. But what do you think about it? I think part of the segue I missed was I was not traditionally a graphic designer before I took this teaching position. I did have experience in graphic design, but actually a lot of my students are better at graphic design than I am. But from all of the digital art that I've learned from them, I've found my own little department within digital art, and that has been AI. And then further, I guess my plan is to put that into Illustrator, Illustrate, and then I don't know what goes from there. But it doesn't just stop at that image. That's just the beginning. Huh? Oh, sure. So, I want to say thank you, everyone, for hanging in there with me. But it's so nice to have this opportunity to speak with all of you, and I'm excited to speak with all of you after as well. Thank you.
So,
Yes, that's, yeah.
does anyone have any questions for Grace?
So Dolly 2 is taken offline. It's actually, there's Dolly 3 and it's available through Chat GPT. It's just a little, it works a little different, but it's still. Yeah.
You go to OpenAI, you go to Chat GPT, Dolly. Now, you go to OpenAI.com, AI or something like that. And then they can go to Dolly.
I have it downloaded